Hello. Is this thing on? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Once again, live on Twitch. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Once again, live on Twitch. It's Bose 831 Gaming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Once again, live on Twitch. This is Bose 831 Gaming, and this is a continuation of my Twitch live stream series in Farming Simulator 22 Platinum Edition. We are on the Silverrun Forest map, and we're basically picking up from where we left off on the last episode. Every time we hop in here, I'm always sort of losing track of the episode count. Let me go take a peek here. I think we're on episode 38 tonight. Yes, 38. So welcome to episode 38 of my Twitch live stream series. I hope everyone is having a good day, night, afternoon, or whatever it is in your neck of the woods or in your part of the world. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, I hope you are having the best day that you can, or make it the best day you can, because the only way you can have fun is if you want to. We're picking up right from where we left off on last week's episode. We had been doing some lumberjacking towards the end of the episode, some tree trimming, if you would, some landscaping of trees in our own property, in our own land, and we had loaded up a load of logs onto our trailer and with our handy dandy leased Massey Ferguson tractor that we have here, and that's the 5S-145 DYNA6 tractor here, or 5S.145, I guess you can call it. But anywho, so we took this load of logs over to the old sawmill to be processed, and that's where we're at right now. The sawmill is filled to capacity, however, so right now the logs are just kind of at a standstill until the sawmill can process some of what we already have in its storage, and they can turn those logs into wood beams and planks and so on and so forth. And that's kind of where we're at now, just kind of waiting on that to happen. And as you can see, we pretty much empty everything out of the storage area on the sawmill except for one load of planks and two prefab wall pallets. So that's where we're at there. And over on the production chain side of things, if we hop over here to the two major production chains on the map, we'll start with the boatyard. And this is where we're at in the boatyard. We have required materials for the next step in the building process. 7,971 liters of planks, and we have 9,824 liters of planks in storage. For long planks, we have a requirement of 6,704 liters, and we have 8,071 liters in storage. Wood beam, we have a requirement right now of 4,537 liters of wood beam, and we have 6,510 liters in storage. Metal, we have a requirement of 1,249 liters, and we have 849 liters, so we're still going to need to bring another metal pallet over. Okay, for our floor tiles, we have a requirement of 5,730 liters. And we have 3,408 liters in storage. So we still need to bring another couple of pallets, probably 2 or 3 pallets of floor tiles over. So, and we have 796 liters of fabric. And we don't have a requirement for fabric yet, but we do have fabric in storage. So when we do reach that step, we already have some of the required fabric that we need in storage. So the main things we need to bring here right now at this stage in the boat building process are like probably about 2 pallets of floor tiles, 2 or 3 pallets of floor tiles, and at least 1 pallet of metal. Now over at the roller coaster, we got a lot of things that we are needing, but again, based on what I've talked about in the last couple of episodes, when you get to this point in the roller coaster build, the stuff that's in storage starts jumping around and behaving real weird for some reason. So I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I'm not going to drop anything else in the roller coaster storage until some of the required materials have reached an exhausted state on the required materials list, because there's been some weird stuff happening there. So I'm just of the mindset, just like let all those required materials kind of run out, and then we'll see where we're at, and then we'll start bringing things back in, probably 1 or 2 at a time, just to see what's happening, what's going on, because it's been acting really odd. Like, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm not going to bring anything here. We're just going to kind of let the roller coaster kind of work itself out and kind of resolve some of the issues that it's having on its own before we start bringing materials back to the roller coaster. And I know it's kind of odd because it's taking a few more months to get this thing, this roller coaster build finished, but it's just not cooperating in the way that it should right at the moment. So I'm just kind of trying to let everything in this particular production kind of work itself out. And one of the other things we did on last week's episode is we paid off a vast majority of our loans. So if we go over to the finances screen, you can see that our loan balance is down to $140,000 right now. So we're almost got our loans paid off. And we're going to keep working on that before we jump into doing anything else. Because as I've talked about on prior episodes, I would like to get into actually doing some arable farming on this map. We have limited areas on the map for that, and maybe even doing some animals and livestock. Even though we don't have a livestock dealer built into this map, we can still put the productions down for the animals and do animals as well if we want to. But because none of that is built into this map, all of that will be pretty much like starting from scratch. So I'm going to need tons of decent amount of cash to get started, because I will have to put my storage buildings down. I have to buy all of my equipment. I have to buy the fields. I have to buy the silos. This is really almost a straight up this will be almost a straight up start from scratch as far as doing farming on this map. This map again was designed with a slant towards logging and working contracts, but definitely the focus is on logging with this map and not as much regular arable farming. And I do always have the contracts available if I want to work them, but I'm not so much interested in that right now. All right, so what else we got here? I think we're good for right now. We can go ahead and advance to the next day. There's nothing more we can do right now, so we're gonna hop on over to the farmhouse and take a little nap. All right. You can see the cost we were assessed overnight. I just found it redundant to keep doing the leases over and over. So the lease equipment, we'll just keep that out because we're still gonna have to release it every day. So we just every so often we cycle the leases so that when the equipment starts to wear out, we can cycle back into having some fresher pieces of equipment. All right, so as you can see, the sawmill processed some more logs here. We got some more we can kind of get it to eat, and it's kind of in the process of doing that. So we're gonna go ahead and get this trailer emptied and see if we hit the max before the trailer is fully unloaded. We might make it. We're up to 107. Oh no, it's getting close. 108. Once it hits 109 and some change. All right, we got it. That's what I'm talking about. So the sawmill is doing its thing. And since we have the sawmill set to distribute the finished materials directly to my productions on the map, we don't have to worry about loading them up on the box it trailer and taking them to all the different places around the map. Although, as you saw, there's planks pallet and the prefab wall pallets that I will need to manually take over to the different production chains or sell points. And we'll do that shortly because we definitely want to go ahead and sell those prefab walls and make as much as we can off of those 2 pallets. Alright, so we're headed back over to our property, and we're gonna work on getting a trailer loaded up with another load of logs, and then we'll drop that load up, bring that load over to the sawmill as well, and then we'll make another assessment from there on what we need to do next, whether that's felling some more trees or something else. But again, that's pretty much going to be the cycle on that map, but on this map in this series is until we can kind of grind our way into having enough money to either to take out a loan, grinding to either have enough money to get, purchase our farm, gradually move into arable farming based on the profits that we make, or we decide to take out another set of loans and try to do it that way. But my fear there is I'm concerned that I might end up maxing out on loans and still not have what I need to make sure that I'm profiting more than I'm losing on my capital expenses before I have the farming set up to do what I need to do. So that's the issue that we have there. All right, so we're back on our property, and we can kind of just jump right into it and work on getting another load of logs on to our trailer. So let's go at it. Let's see if I can have some better luck kind of working these logs this time than I have had in the past. It's always fun dealing with the game mechanics and trying to get all these logs loaded onto my trailer. But this is kind of my process. There are clearly, different ways to do this. There's more realistic and unrealistic ways, but this is just one of the ways that I found to do it that works for me. When you play this game, you're going to have to find out the different processes and different things that work for you and kind of develop your own play style with what you're comfortable with. At the end of the day, there is no right or quote wrong way to play the game. You just have to play the game the way that is fun and works for you. If you're not, like I always say, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then what are you doing? And that's the whole purpose of gaming. We know there is such a thing as a professional gamer in this day and age, but your gaming for the most part is still a hobby for most folks. I'm going to get off my soapbox, but just kind of throwing that out there. And if you're an old head like me, I've been gaming on various platforms since the 80s. Kind of think about, I've talked about that before. I don't know if it was on this series. It may have been on my other series, but I don't recall exactly. But again, one of the first systems my family had was when my dad rented what was called the Magnavox Odyssey system when we were kids. I don't remember exactly which one. I want to say it was the 2 or the 3. I don't recall exactly, but it was one of those Odyssey systems, and that was our very first experience with a gaming system. After that, then we had many different what we used to call back in the day TV tennis sets, but what came to be known classically as Pong. But yeah, we had that. We had a few different boxes on our TVs at home that we bought from all of the department stores, which were like the store brand knockoff boxes. I think we had one from Sears at one time, and then another one from JCPenney, and like all those different knockoff consoles had like ROMs built into them with different games, because there was one we had that had all the classic Pong games, and then it had like a version of Breakout. I want to say somewhere down the line we even had one that had like a bootleg, a rough version of Missile Command, and maybe even a few other things on it. Back then, with the original, I guess you can call them gaming consoles. It was like the Wild West. You eventually had your branded ones like the Mattel and Television and the Atari systems, and the one that I ended up having for a long time, the ColecoVision system from Sega. But you also had a lot of knockoff systems during that time as well, which is funny. People think that that's something that's brand new in the industry, but that stuff's been going on from the beginning. Just kind of digressing a little bit there as I'm talking about my history as far as gaming goes. Um, like jumping to the point where I am now, I consider myself a hardcore gamer, as some folks would probably be shocked as in, as at the amount of time that I like to say, as I refer to it, that I spend on the sticks. That's what I call my gaming hobby. But if I had to describe my gaming skill set per se, I would say probably a moderate, intermediate to an expert gamer. But I don't play a lot of stuff like a lot of people play or hit into first-person shooters. I've never been a first-person shooter guy. I mean, I've played them. There are games that I like, but first shooter games are not my go-to. My go-to has always been simulation games, sports games, of course. Science fiction, fantasy, and role-playing games. And then first-person shooters might fall into the lineup after that. But I'm more inclined to play stuff that leans towards more story-driven content. But I always say it's kind of funny for me sometimes because there are games that I've spent countless hours on playing, and I go on the feeds and see stories, or I watch videos on YouTube of players doing things on games that I've played for many moons and making stuff on these games look so simple and easy. But when I play, I don't get the same results, even though I've played these games. I spent a lot of hours on different games, and I employed some of the strategies that I see other people employ, but I don't always get the results that many of the experts always get all the time. So if I have to say, if you ask me whether or not I'm good at gaming per se, it depends. I would say it varies greatly, but it depends on the game. But for the most part, I don't stress it that hard. That's why games like this game here appeal to me more than some of the other stuff, because I'm not gonna lie, like, I know from what I can see in the gaming community in general, a lot of folks like for games to have these ridiculous difficulties and all of that stuff, and I guess folks say, to find certain stuff not that challenging to them, so they like for the difficulty in a lot of games to be ramped up to these ridiculous levels. But I'm not that guy. Even though I consider myself a serious gamer, I do it as a casual thing, and all that stuff, where people, want all this insanely difficult stuff. That's not me. I'm not playing games at the end of the day to be stressed out. I get that, per se, from my day job. I don't want to come home and be doing whatever I do for my hobby to give me more stress than my day job does. That's, to me, that's not relaxing. But I see a lot of guys like that challenge. Not saying that I don't like being challenged or welcome a challenge, but to me, it just depends. I'm not that ridiculous with it. I take my gaming very seriously, but not to, I guess, the levels that I see many people take it to. That's why stuff like this game here appeals to me so much more, because you're just out of that whole cycle altogether. This is you know, basically a sandbox where you can do what the heck you want to, and that's pretty much it. Even though if you go to the boards on the internet about this game, you see some of that same mentality, especially when it comes to stuff like um, how people play the game, and then with mods, and like when you look at some of the comments on YouTube and on some of the more famous YouTubers, you know, on their channels, and even on the Giants boards, and seeing players complain about mods and stuff like that, is just insane to me. I mean, even though the game is like not a one-to-one, you know, simulator of real life farming activity, it's one of the best ones you got out there. Um, and like, just to me, sometimes it just, and this is just my opinion, but it just seems like the community is so spoiled a lot, because it's, especially for the console folks, because I come from PC gaming originally. You know, I still do have a PC, and I still do game on my PC, but not as much as I used to. As I've kind of moved away, you know, to using my PC for other things, and my console is for more of my playing than my PC is these days. But just kind of interesting to me how players in the community kind of like, you know, go ham on some of these boards about mods and all that. And like, if they don't get mods for a day or a few days, you know, you see people out there losing their minds like that's, you know, an expectation. But it's just weird to me sometimes, because like, you know, you have to appreciate that you even have a game where you can have mods. And for somebody like me that's been around, you know, gaming for all of this time, and I've watched the industry grow, you know, to me it's just like kind of like an entitlement game. Because I remember when, you know, like looking at what we're looking at here now with these realistic games and all of that stuff, and like watching how folks talk about the graphics and all of that stuff. And I remember when all we had was little, you know, little squares, you know, on the screen, little pixelated squares that are blocked together to take the shape of different things, you know, and that was our graphics, you know. It wasn't actual, you know, like art per se, even though technically it was digital art, but just in the form that we had, the technology would support at the time, you know. But to see that progress to where we are now with realistic stuff, and, you know, almost real life looking stuff now, and even with the VR stuff, like, even though on the Xbox side of things, Microsoft hasn't decided to jump into that arena really too much right now, but it's all just some interesting stuff. But getting back on that tangent that I was deviating on there, just sometimes, like with the farming simulator community, just needs to, I think, you know, sometimes just kind of cool it a little bit, and let the mods drop. You know, don't be so hard on the content creators, because these people are, you know, busting their butts to give you, you know, additional free content. You have a game that has a ton of awesome equipment and everything in it by itself, and the fact that the game also allows you to have the ability to play mods within the game is an amazing thing. And people kind of just, again, my opinion, take that for granted, you know, because there's incredible mods that come out almost every day for this game, you know, and I'm amazed. And like, if you're on PC, you know, you have even more options than that. But even for us console players, you know, there's a ton of stuff that's available in the in-game mod hub, and it's just incredible, I think. Oops. Okay. I'm not even sure how I flipped this thing just now, but we flipped it. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, can I turn it back over? Yeah. I can't get it turned back over. That's not making me happy right now. Alright, hold on. There we go. That's the only thing about it. Some of the game mechanics and physics improved, but still we have a ways to go. Alright, but we were like a turtle right there, but we got it turned back over. Alright, we got another log, and we just kind of dropping them all on the stack and let them kind of fall where they may, and let them kind of line up. Wow, why is it? I don't know why it's. I guess I'm going too fast in those turns, but she really shouldn't be tipping over that much when I'm not even going that fast. See, I cut a ton of logs over in this area, so we should have a few loads here before we need to cut again. Alright, and I think that might be about a cutoff point right there. As you can also see, I found at least 3 or 4 more stumps here in the OCD part of my brain is not gonna let me be able to drive off with those stumps that I can see there. So we're gonna go disconnect the tractor and go grab our grinder over here, or a forestry mulcher, I guess we should call it. And go make some stumps disappear. Alright, there's one there. So we'll start here. Alright, turn the mulcher on. And let's see if we can get that one. Presto, it's gone away. And there's another one over here. Boom, gone. There's another one there. Alright, and that one's being a little bit temperamental, so we may have to lower the mulcher on that one. So we'll go ahead. Just got to go ahead and just come back and clean that up. Because the mulcher, when you lower it all the way to the ground, it will delete everything down to the ground texture. Basically, it eradicates everything until you're looking at dirt. Alright, so I think that's all we're gonna do for the moment. So let's do a little landscaping. We just got this one little piece here that we want to go ahead and paint. I'm gonna go over to our painting, and we're looking for the forestry ground texture, and we'll go ahead and paint that area right there that we kind of deleted. And I think that was the last of the stumps that I saw for now. There was another one, I don't remember where I saw it at, so that's okay. But we'll go ahead and get this trailer and deliver it back over to the sawmill, and then we'll see what other activities we got that we can do. Oh, forgot to turn on the beacon lights. Alright, so we made it to the old sawmill. See, as you can see, straight ahead traffic's a little backed up because we just had the train come across. Alright, so we got some more logs coming in. And it won't take us long to reach the max capacity for the sawmill. We're already there. Alright, so looks at this point we're kind of waiting on that. Alright, so the sawmill is backed up, so we have a backlog there. So let's go ahead and hop on over to the map. And let's check on our metal and sheep production. We'll start with the sheep. Alright, we got 3 pallets of wool that we can move over to the spinnery, and we'll go ahead and do that now. That's 1, 2, and then 1 more, we'll make 3. Alright, so there we go. Those are done. And let's go over here to the iron furnace. I have metal set to store, and we have enough pallets we can go ahead and grab one of the pallets. And we know that metal is needed for the boat production. Alright, so let's hop in. Got 1,000 liters of metal. think that should be enough to satisfy the requirement for the boat, for the shipyard. Alright, so let's drop the metal off. Boom. And we made $5,411 in profit. And now when we go back and look at the boatyard menu again, we have 1,476 liters of metal, and we needed 876 liters. So our next plan of attack will be visiting the floor tiles. I think we'll take a quick screenshot here. Let's go ahead and do that now. When we hide the help window, go ahead and take that screening. Turn that help menu back on. Yeah, floor. We need how many liters of floor tiles? 1,914 liters are in storage. And we need 4,233, so about a little over 2,000-ish liters. I'm going here in my head, I guess. I'm not a math guy. So let's go grab some floor tiles. If we go over here to the floor tiles chain, we have 2 pallets. So we're going to drop off this load of floor tiles. and see where that leads us. And we made $6,837 profit from that sale of the floor tile material. And now if we look at the menu again for the boat yard, I think we have, 3,897 liters of floor tiles. We need 4,218. So we need to deliver at least one more pallet of floor tiles before we can advance to the next construction stage for the boat. And we'll go take a look at the roller coaster again just for amusement purposes. Alright, so let's hop over here and take a look at what we got going on in the roller coaster. Let's see. Where looking like much is changing. But we're still calling for planks, which we have plenty of. We're still calling for long planks, which we have plenty of. We're still asking for metal, which we have plenty of. We just don't we don't have the staircase railing. We do have the chair. We have plenty of the chairs. We have plenty of the tables. We don't have shingles right now. And we don't have barrels, but we do have the buckets. So again, weird. I'm not going to do anything until the numbers for the required materials are resolved for the stuff that we already have in storage, that we have plenty of. I'm thinking the kind of way you got to look at it in order to make it logical for your brain is that the roller coaster builders are just waiting to process what you've already bought in, and it's just going to take a certain amount of time for those numbers to get update. Uh, hmm. Alright, so with that in mind, I'm trying to see where we're at. Alright, metals should be still storing until we finish with all the requirements for that. All of these can still be on selling for now. At the wood turner, shingle factory is storing. When that maxes out, we'll flip that to selling. Same floor tiles, same deal. And over here on the furniture factory, Amore is set to selling. Table and chairs are set to storing. Same with the barrel and bucket factory. Barrel and bucket are storing. Bathtub is selling. And again, once storage is maxed out in those facilities, I will flip everything back over to selling. So let's actually go take a look at each one and see if that is necessary to do right now. Let's start with the barrel factory. It is maxed. So here we have a bucket, bathtub, bucket, barrel. Excuse me. That's a barrel pallet. That's a bucket pallet. Bucket pallet. Barrel pallet. So that's a key indicator that we can flip this one back over to selling everything right now. And next up is the furniture factory. That is the furniture factory. And looks like we can set this one to selling as well. We got a pallet of chairs, tables, chair, table, and another chair pallet. Alright, so with the furniture factory, we can, I think, go ahead and flip everything here to selling. Looks like we're done with any requirements from that right now that we don't already have available. Alright, flooring factory. We know that should be still at storing. Let's go take a look over at the shingle factory. Yeah, I think that's this one. No. Is it this one? Yeah. Shingle Factory's storage is maxed out, so we can go ahead and set that to selling. Wood turner is set. That's over here. And that's, I think this normally has 4 pallets, so that we'll leave that one alone for right now. No, actually, that should be plenty for what we need for any production requirements. So we'll go ahead and flip this to selling. Oh, it's already there. My bad, we already got that one. So double checking our production chains again. And there you have it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Looking good, looking good. And that's all of our other productions. Until we jump in and buy some other production chains. You see, we're making a little bit of money, making a little bit of our money back, but not substantial cash flow right now. We're back up to 70 grand. Alrighty, so we're kind of at a standstill momentarily. Guess one of the things we could do is we can go ahead and grab those prefab wall pallets from over at the sawmill and go take those over to the train loading dock to be loaded and sold. So we'll do that, and we'll grab that one single pallet, take it to one of my productions. And that'll at least give us some busy work while we're waiting on certain things to happen. And actually, since these are the liftable pallets, I may be able to get away with unloading and loading here, because I won't need to use the forklift. Yep, so let's call the train, release the train. Now we're just gonna park it for a little bit and wait on the train to arrive. And there she is in all her glory. Alright, we have the liftable pallets mod installed. And we're going to go ahead and grab these pallets and load them onto the train. Now if we didn't have the liftable pallets mod installed, we would just use the forklift to do the same thing we're doing here by hand. For any gameplay purists that are watching. Alright. Looking good. So, you know, I forgot to check the prices on the prefab wall before we even went through all these steps. This may not be where we need to take the prefab walls. I might have spent money I didn't need to. But typically, the prefab walls will give you the best prices. The prefab wall, but the external buyers in different towns will give you the best prices, which in this case would be your Goldcrest Valley buyer. Excuse me, Elm Creek buyer. And the same, you see here, $10,044, so that's a no-brainer. So we're gonna hop on to the train now. Let's go for a train ride across the map and onto Elm Creek. This is what it looks like from the cab. Alright, and this is what it looks like out here, and look at that magic, look at that roller coaster. That's a beautiful thing right there. All right, well, we're still trying. There we are. We reached the edge of the map, and we're ready to go off to Elm Creek. We want to say hit OK there, and boom, you can see you made $10,000 or $44 per pallet. So that's another $20,088. So we're up over $109,000 in profits right now. All right. And we're not making much progress at the sawmill, are we? We're still kind of in the same place there. That's all we have right now, unless we want to lumberjack some trees. In this area, we still got quite a few logs down, so still got some work here that we don't need to cut down any more trees precisely at this moment. So it looks like the game plan is again waiting on the sawmill overnight to process some logs. And I think that we're going to go ahead and do that, and that's where we'll jump back in. Alright, definitely looks like that's the way to go, to just kind of, we're going to go ahead and advance you to the next business day. And give all our productions and everything time to cycle. So we're going to hop over to the farmhouse, sleep. And we'll assess our loan interest and leasing costs, property maintenance, and production costs. And sawmill is still backlogged, but we are getting some more logs out the way. Let's see, we're here. We might get the trailer emptied now. Alright, good stuff. The trailer's empty. I need to check one thing over at the old sawmill. We need to set prefab walls. We can actually set those to selling right now. Yeah, because we only need the prefab walls for a certain step in the process for the roller coaster build. We got that taken care of, and no other production chains that we have active on the map right now require prefab walls, so we can just start selling that piece outright. We still want to keep the others. So trailer's empty. We're going to grab another load. Alright, so next stop is back in our yard. Alright, and we're not going to bump up the crash counter just yet. Coming close a few times here. Alright. That was not how you do it. And there's your first crash counter for tonight. Crash counter +1. And that's feel right off, but that's another case of game physics. Alright, we got some more logs over here. So let's find the best approach strategy. Got some over here too. Barely see them. Trying to get our equipment into position. Holy moly, I missed that completely. That hasn't happened in a while. There we go. Trying to push it up so I can see what I'm working with here. That brush is so heavy, it's very difficult to see what it is you're trying to do. And this one's tricky. That was not what I wanted to happen. It's just too tight right now in that area. Gotta come through there and move some trees around. Alright, we're just checking how we're doing on time. Let's see if there's another angle I can come in from to get to these trees here. Just need to do some more heavy forestry over in this area. Let's go do this and see if that will clear us some path. Let's go grab that Komatsu. Come back in here. This right here needs to be opened up a little bit more. Alright, so let's get to it. Let's see what we can open up here. And I know I was saying on an earlier episode I don't like these small trees, but I need to get these suckers out of the way right now. And all we're doing here is just we like have a blockade of trees around us where we cut some logs at that we are still so boxed in that we can't even take out without extreme difficulty some of the logs that we already have cut previously. So we're just trying to cut down some of the smaller trees, even some of the larger trees, to clear out more of a working area for us. That's a big stump right there. Kind of probably giving us a little bit of trouble. Hey, that was an unexpected turn of events there that almost wrecked us. Alright, just trying to shake that log off. That log took a wild turn for some unknown reason there. It almost caused a small disaster. When we're all done here, we won't need logs for a while, probably. Alright, this one's kind of bugging me a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know this was going to turn into a bit of a lumberjacking episode again. But so be it. And ideally, when you chop a tree, cut a tree, that's how you want it to behave. Like all pieces of the tree kind of in a stack right in front of the harvester. For those of you it's your first time tuning in to my channel and my live, we're playing Farming Simulator 22. This is the Platinum Edition expansion of the game. And we're on the Silverrun Forest map. And we're a little forestry, or in this case, tree harvesting. Oh, timber! Another tree down. And I'm kind of in a groove now, so I don't want to stop. I'm probably going to need to move some of these trees out of the roadway. So I need to be careful about where I'm dropping them at. And we're just kind of trying to roll over these tree pieces and stumps and whatnot right now. And I created a monster here. Alright, let's kind of throw that harvester out of the way. Let's go back to what we were doing originally here. That led us down this tangent, if you will. Still really didn't get the trees that I need to get. Alright, so chop chop. Trees everywhere now. More than what they were a few minutes ago. Just gonna grab what we can. See if we got someone that we can kind of pick up and move around. With some of these little tiny trees, we should definitely have stuff we can kind of move around at will. I knew that was going to be a thing. Getting them up here and on the trailer in some kind of manner that makes sense. It's going to be the challenge because of the game physics. Grab these bad boys. Sometimes they're just jumping around all over the place. Like this piece here, for whatever reason, it wants to be anchored down on this end, but not on the other end. So, and in fact, it does not want to move. Then all of a sudden, it does. There we go. And the little skinny logs won't make you a lot of money, but they still produce wood. And it takes all kinds. And again, I'd just like to point out, folks, that have been tuning in or have been seeing a few of these episodes, and like if you're bored with watching a guy do lumber on a lumber map, then this probably isn't not a series for you. But if you are not, then welcome aboard, and hope you have enjoyed, for the most part, what I've been doing tonight in this episode. And continue to tune in and watch me, and check me out and watch me do my thing and continue to get better. Apologies for sometimes I have moments, because I do have some issues with sleeping. I do have a CPAP machine, and I do have some sleeping issues that I do go through sometimes. So depending on what I'm doing, sometimes at night on some of these episodes, I may fade in and out during the episode, but I should not ever again have any incident like I did on my granddaughter's birthday episode from the previous couple of Saturdays ago, where I'm actually falling asleep on and snoring on the live. That was kind of unprecedented incident there. um, yeah, but there's that. Shouldn't have that happen again. But that was just me trying to be dedicated to my, community and trying to rush. Well, not really rush, but just trying to get on and provide some content for the folks that are watching my content on a night when I probably should have just took the whole night off. That's just what it is. Alrighty then. We got a ton of stuff we got going on here. We got a ridiculous amount of logs on the trailer, given most of the pieces are small pieces. That's still cool. Now we're going to drop some larger pieces on there to go ahead and finish this load up. And then we'll take this all over to the sawmill and get all these logs in the backlog. Rinse and repeat. That's the game plan going forward, keeping a close eye on our productions and our boat build, and just providing the parts and pieces that we need to advance the boat build, and just keep an eye on the roller coaster. And once everything in the roller coaster build queue settles down, we'll start dropping some stuff back off to the roller coaster as well, and kind of moving that build along. Right now it's just we gotta wait on everything in the roller coaster build queue to kind of settle down a little bit, so that we have it behaving the way it's supposed to behave. What it's doing now just tells me that there's a bit of a backlog in the build queue for the roller coaster, and we just need to stop supplying and providing supplies to it until the queue is a little bit more settled. Alright. But we're coming up on the close of tonight's episode in this series. And again, I sincerely want to thank everyone for tuning in, checking me out. Hope you continue to do so. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't. Let me know what you want to see. If you want to see me play some other games, got some other ideas, comments, suggestions, all of that stuff is welcome. Catch me on all the major social media platforms as Bose831 Gaming on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. Check me out. Engage. Let me know. Talk to me. That's what it is. That's the only way I'm going to grow, learn, and get better at what it is I'm doing. I've been doing this for less than a year right now, and I do want to hopefully, my goal is to have this hobby of mine turn into a second career. maybe even if we get really good progress on this whole thing to turn into the career, that would be really cool. But I'm gonna put in the work and we'll see what happens. Alright. Like I always say, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then what are you doing? This is Bose 831 Gaming live on Twitch. Just about to wrap it up for tonight. I think we'll end this episode, as we have a lot of episodes in this series, at the sawmill. Maybe, but this may be in the yard and we'll have to do sawmill, drop off camera, and then when we come back, next we'll be at the sawmill. For many of you that might be deja vu-ish, but guess what? Login map, that's gonna be a very common sight. One other thing I could do to kind of probably offer some variation in some of these episodes is kind of mix up a little bit what kind of equipment I'm using and what kind of processes I'm using for my logging. And so those are some of the things I might need to do some brainstorming on off camera between episodes, just to see what else I can come up with that can make these episodes a little more engaging and entertaining. Whoa! Did it again. That's all I got for now. And I keep turning this bad boy over. Don't know how I keep doing that, because I don't think the turns are that crazy tight, so I don't know why that one tipped it again. Alright, we got another log or two. But maybe we'll just save this load where it is right now, and we'll just stop right here, and then when we come back in on Saturday, we'll pick up exactly from where we're at right now. That may be a thought as well. I gotta get that, because I gotta get this yeah, we only got 3 minutes, so I'm just gotta clean these logs up out the road, because they're gonna give me problems when I try to drive out of here otherwise. If I don't do that, at least do that. So we're gonna get these little 3 or 4 logs that we have here out of the road and try to get them on the trailer. And if we don't get them on the trailer, we at least want to get them out of the roadway. That's a pretty, you notice, ended up, it's comprised of a lot of smaller pieces. This is still a pretty decent load we got here. Let's see if I can do a little 2 at a time trick here. Got them popping off the forks. don't have a really solid grab on either one of them, so they could pop off. At any time now. Alright, we're in the last minute. Last minute of the episode. Last call for streaming. Last call for streaming. Live streaming. Thank you again for tuning in tonight. Like I always say, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then what are you doing? And I will catch you on the flip side, everyone. Y'all have a great night, day, or whatever it is in your part of the woods, in your neck of the woods, or in your part of the world. And I will catch you folks on flip side. Thank you again for tuning in. This is Jose 831 Gaming live on Twitch. Good night.